Lil Durk was truly operating like a mafia boss, forcing federal authorities to deploy investigative tactics traditionally used to dismantle organized crime families. Law enforcement reportedly has recordings of Durk admitting to multiple murders, including the killing of Quando Rondo's cousin. From avenging his brother's death to allegedly ordering the execution of an informant's baby mother, Durk was moving with a level of audacity rarely seen in the hip-hop world.
Vaughn is dead, right?
Okay, well,
How the f is these paying for a jet?
One of the most shocking revelations is that Durk was flying out, hired killers on private jets, demonstrating both his financial reach and his willingness to eliminate threats with precision. However, the most unpredictable twist in this saga is the role played by an OTF insider, one of Durk's closest allies, who ultimately betrayed him.
I hate all rats. If you ever told, you ever tell, I hate you, like with a passion. I really hate rats with real passions. Like, I hate you bad. I'm looking to the camera. I hate rat.
If there is one thing that Lil Durk has made abundantly clear in past interviews, it is his absolute disdain for snitches. Ironically, it now appears that his downfall may be the result of a trusted associate turning against him. According to court documents, a key informant in the case is none other than OTF Jam, a longtime and highly trusted member of the crew. OTF Jam had been released from prison in 2022 after serving a 12-year sentence for attempted murder. Unbeknownst to Durk and the rest of the crew, Jam had been working with authorities for years. The most shocking aspect of his betrayal is that he allegedly wore a wire while interacting with Lil Durk and other OTF members, providing federal agents with crucial intelligence. His secret recordings and testimony are now central to the case against Durk, exposing what may be one of the most devastating backstabbings in hip-hop history. Jam's relationship with Durk makes his role as an informant even more heartbreaking. During Jam's lengthy incarceration, Durk remained loyal, offering financial support, covering legal fees, and even purchasing him a house and a car.
Say they gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying? Fact. But so, can you tell us how much he gave you, or you don't want to even?
No, I ain't gotta get into all that, but bro made sure he made a way for me to be straight. Like,
additionally, Durk gifted him more than $50,000 in cash, ensuring that Jam had a stable foundation upon his release. Given this history, no one could have predicted that Jam would be the one to turn on Durk, delivering the evidence needed to link him to an alleged murder-for-hire plot targeting Quando Rondo.
Durk come through and tell me, that's sure. So I don't give a nobody say, like, I know I'm a real witness. Like,
A lot of niggas can't say they ain't tricks.
Ain't gonna like my whole time in jail, I was straight.
As the case unfolds, it promises to be one of the most explosive trials in recent rap history. With a former brother-turned-informant at the center of the investigation, Lil Durk's legal battle is set to be a wild and unpredictable ride. Lil Durk's loyalty to his crew has never been questioned. Even when he was behind bars, he continued to take care of OTF Jam, ensuring his well-being despite his own struggles. So what could make someone turn on their closest friend without any remorse? Reports suggest that Durk may have been involved in the tragic death of his child's mother, Octavia Redmond, all because he discovered that Jam had been wearing a wire. Determined to exact revenge, Durk knew that eliminating an FBI informant would bring unwanted attention from federal authorities. Instead, he allegedly chose an alternative target, his own baby mama. On July 19, 2024, in the West Pullman neighborhood of Chicago, Octavia Redmond, a beloved postal worker, became the victim of a cold-blooded execution. At approximately noon, Octavia was preparing to deliver mail in front of a Chicago home when a stolen SUV suddenly pulled up nearby. The vehicle, later identified as the getaway car, was driven by a 15-year-old suspect. Without hesitation, the suspect exited the SUV and approached Octavia with deadly intent. In a brutal attack, he fired multiple rounds at close range, leaving her critically injured before fleeing the scene in the stolen vehicle. Octavia, 48, was rushed to Christ Hospital in critical condition, where she was later pronounced dead. In the wake of the shocking murder, the Chicago Police Department launched an intensive investigation to track down the suspect. The U.S. Postal Inspection Service also became involved, offering a substantial reward for information leading to an arrest and conviction. they announced a staggering $250,000 reward on their official social media account, hoping to encourage witnesses to come forward. As the investigation progressed, authorities used surveillance footage from police and private cameras to track the suspect's movements before and after the shooting. The stolen SUV was identified, and an anonymous tip provided crucial information that led to the suspect's identification. After months of relentless pursuit, investigators finally located the perpetrator in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, where he was arrested on a murder warrant. Despite Durk's unwavering loyalty, Jam had done the unthinkable. He became what the Chicago rapper despises the most, a rat. But even orchestrating the murder of his child's mother didn't erase the damage. The betrayal had already been set in motion. Now, the burning question remains: what exactly did OTF Jam reveal to law enforcement that could potentially put Lil Durk on death row? His confessions reportedly tie back to the tragic night of November 6, 2020, when King Von, Durk's closest friend, was killed outside an Atlanta nightclub. The altercation began as a physical fight between rapper King Von and Quando Rondo, escalating into gunfire when a member of Rondo's entourage allegedly shot Von multiple times, resulting in his death. CCTV footage captured Von approaching Quando Rondo and punching him to the ground. Von's crew quickly joined in, relentlessly attacking Rondo as he struggled to escape. Amid the chaos, one of Rondo's associates, later identified as Lil Tim, emerged from behind a vehicle with a firearm and opened fire. As the shots rang out, everyone scattered. Von was struck in the torso and was rushed to the hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries during surgery. For Lil Durk, Von's death was not only a personal tragedy, but also a catalyst for heightened animosity toward Quando Rondo. Rumors began circulating that Durk had placed a bounty on Rondo's head, fueling speculation and fear within the industry. Court documents later revealed that OTF member Jam told police that after Von's death, Durk used coded language to instruct OTF affiliates that he would financially reward anyone who took part in eliminating Quando Rondo. Additionally, Durk's cousin, DeAndre Wilson, allegedly told OTF members that anyone involved in Rondo's murder would receive lucrative music opportunities under the OTF label. By August 2022, Durk's associates reportedly learned that Quando Rondo was staying at a hotel in Los Angeles, prompting them to set plans into motion. DeAndre Wilson, Keith Jones, David Lindsay, and Asa Houston traveled from Chicago to San Diego before making their way to Los Angeles, allegedly using funds provided by Durk himself. The group was determined to execute their mission with precision, following Durk's alleged instructions to avoid any direct connections to him. Court records indicate that investigators retrieved messages from Durk's iCloud, where he advised them not to book anything in his name. Despite this warning, they proceeded to use a credit card linked to Lil Durk and OTF to secure travel arrangements. Upon arrival, the OTF members met with Keon Grant, a top associate who had flown to Los Angeles on a private jet. Grant played a key role in facilitating the operation, securing hotel accommodations, purchasing ski masks, and obtaining 2 luxury sedans to be used in the ambush. According to court records, Grant also provided firearms, including one that had been illegally modified, further escalating the potential for violence. As the day unfolded, the group allegedly began tracking Quando Rondo and his associate Robinson as they moved around Los Angeles. Traveling in a Cadillac Escalade, the group's journey took them to various locations, including a marijuana dispensary and a clothing store in West Hollywood. Tension was palpable as the suspects shadowed their targets, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The climax of the day's events unfolded at a gas station across from the Beverly Center, a bustling area in the heart of Los Angeles. Here, Asa Houston allegedly parked his vehicle strategically behind the station, setting the stage for the ambush. As Quando Rondo and Robinson stopped at the gas station, Jones, Lindsay, and a third unidentified man reportedly exited their vehicle, armed and ready to execute their plan. The suspects opened fire, unleashing a hail of bullets in an eyeball attempt to kill Rondo. Tragically, Lapoab, Rondo's cousin, who was standing outside the Escalade, was struck and killed in the gunfire. Miraculously, Rondo himself escaped unharmed. The scene erupted into chaos and terror as bystanders scrambled for safety while the suspects fled. Following the attack, the group regrouped at an In-N-Out Burger, where they allegedly discussed payment with Keon Grant. They then made their way back to Chicago, flying out of San Diego, as authorities began piecing together the details of the brazen attack. Rumors swirled that these two murders were not the only ones orchestrated by Lil Durk. From avenging his brother's killer to targeting an opposition member who had defaced Von's mural, Durk had allegedly been moving recklessly for some time. The earliest murder-for-hire plot linked to Durk involved the killing of his brother. The story began with the tragic death of Lil Durk's brother, D. Thang, on June 7, 2021. That Sunday morning, outside a strip club in South Suburban Harvey, gunfire erupted, and D. Thang was fatally shot in the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Word on the street was that a man named Stefan Mack was responsible for D. Thang's murder. In retaliation, Durk allegedly placed a bounty on his head. On January 7, 2022, Mack was gunned down at the Youth Peace Center of Roseland, located at 420 West 111th Street in Chicago. Soon after, two men, Anthony Montgomery Wilson and Preston Powell, were indicted for murder for hire.
I don't think Von paid them guys. I'm sorry to tell the world.
The events leading up to Mack's murder were reportedly meticulously planned, further cementing the theory that Durk had been financing targeted killings in pursuit of vengeance. Montgomery Wilson, Powell, and other unidentified accomplices allegedly conspired to execute Stefan Mack in exchange for money. Prosecutors classified a cell phone and a 2014 Chrysler 300 used in the plot as facilities of interstate commerce.
Everybody arrest video coming out from when they got arrested for this Duck case.
Yeah.
They ain't show Moowop shit. Or C Murders, have you? Have y'all saw Moowop and C Murder go to jail on camera yet? Because everybody else involved in that case, arrest footage is on camera.
As Mack exited the Youth Peace Center, gunmen emerged from a vehicle and opened fire, fatally wounding him. A security guard was also injured in the attack but survived. Initially kept under seal, the indictment was later made public, revealing the severity of the accusations against Montgomery Wilson and Powell.
Them boys got snatched at the airport on a private hangar.
They were charged with conspiracy to use an interstate facility in the commission of a murder for hire. Additionally, Montgomery Wilson faced an individual murder for hire charge and a firearm offense.
Von is dead, right?
Okay, well,
How the f is these paying for a jet?
As the legal proceedings unfolded, Montgomery Wilson remained in custody, confronting the full weight of the charges against him. During his arraignment, he pleaded not guilty, setting the stage for what could be a lengthy and contentious trial. His defense team is expected to challenge the prosecution's evidence, which reportedly includes photos from the U.S. Attorney's office allegedly showing him pursuing the victim with a firearm. Meanwhile, Preston Powell remains a fugitive, with law enforcement actively searching for his whereabouts. One of the most high-profile murders that Lil Durk is rumored to have financed is that of FBG Duck. When Duck's killers were arrested, in 2021, word quickly spread that a $100,000 bounty had been placed on his head.
Then I think at some point you take the picture in front of O Block, in front of the King Von mural. So what was going on with all that?
Durk told me to do that.
Durk told you to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Reports later surfaced that an informant within O Block was cooperating with federal authorities, revealing that the individual who funded the hit also rewarded the killers with custom-made O Block chains. A video later surfaced on YouTube showing King Von gifting O Block members custom chains. However, sources in Chicago claim it was actually Lil Durk who ordered the hit on FBG Duck and paid the killers. To uncover who truly financed the O Block gang members responsible for Duck's murder, FBG Butter pointed to the suspect's arrest footage. Surprisingly, Muwop and C Murder were not apprehended in O Block. Instead, they were arrested at a private hangar, raising suspicions. According to insiders, this is highly unusual, as a regular O Block gang member would not have the means to charter a private plane, further fueling speculation about who was truly behind the hit.
Dad, like 5 o'clock that morning, you was loose as hell, trying to ride around with in a rack. Come on, bro, ain't no doing that, cuz. You know better, like, these set you up.
What's interesting is that at the time of their arrest, King Von had already passed away. This raised questions about who had the financial power to fly Muwop and C Murder on a private jet. Many speculated that only one person could afford such an expense: Lil Durk. Durk is also suspected of ordering the death of one of FBG Duck's closest allies, FBG Cash, after Cash disrespected Von's mural. When King Von was killed, Cash took a photo in front of his mural, flipping off the camera. Instead of paying tribute to the late rapper, he captioned the post, "Whole world witnessed Emain sniper get his splack." This blatant act of disrespect did not sit well with Von's crew, especially his best friend, Lil Durk.
When I went to look, I was like, damn. Like the bullet had ripped all my jacket. Like, I'm like, I'm shot.
Durk seemingly responded to Cash's actions in his song Computer Murderers, rapping, "Sneakin' pics by Von Merle like Lil Bro won't come out and spin." Instead of backing down, Cash doubled down, using Durk's Computer Murderers beat to create his own diss track. In the song, he mocked Von's death, rapping, "Von got his ass clapped, you had us thinking he was stretched." Cash continued, taunting his rivals in interviews, even claiming that Lil Durk himself had told him to take the infamous photo at Von's mural. It was only a matter of time before his enemies caught up with him. A warning from Lil Durk on social media hinted at what would happen next. Durk posted an Instagram story that read, "Don't diss thing if you be lingering and chasing. Won't end well, that's marched."
Be shooting at you at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And who would know where I was at?
Exactly.
Like, fuck, I wasn't, like, you
know her car.
You can't see in my car, and then fucking, it's not like I was sitting straight up in her car, and then, like, if she did set me up, right, she did it with the wrong people, because they didn't kill Cho.
According to some of Cash's friends, he was ultimately set up by a woman. On June 9th, 2022, Cash was picked up by a female acquaintance and headed to a nightclub. After the club, he took her to a friend's house, planning to spend the night. Around 5 a.m., Cash drove her home with her sleeping in the back seat. While stopped at a stop sign on the 1600 block of West 81st Street, another car suddenly cut them off. 3 men jumped out and opened fire. Cash managed to exit the vehicle and return fire, but he was quickly overpowered. He was later rushed to Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn, where he succumbed to his injuries. According to reports, just weeks before his death, FBG Cash was involved in another shooting. He suspected that the same woman had set him up, but he survived with only a gunshot wound to his arm. Unfortunately, the second time, he wasn't as lucky.
Do you think it was a paid hit?
I do.
That morning, FBG Cash had just left the studio and gone to the woman's house. Around 4:20 a.m., a man started blowing up her phone. According to Cash, the caller was the woman's boyfriend. She then informed Cash that her boyfriend had the house keys, meaning he could show up at any moment. Realizing the potential danger, the two decided to leave immediately. They jumped into the woman's car, with Cash sitting in the passenger seat. Fortunately, he did one thing that saved his life that night. He reclined his seat and lay on his back while scrolling through his phone.
What's the last thing you invested in?
On their way home, they stopped at a red light, with a vehicle pulling up behind them. The woman told Cash that it was a police officer. Curious, he peeped out but couldn't see clearly, so he went back to his phone. Suddenly, a hail of bullets shattered the rear windshield. Luckily, Cash wasn't in the direct line of fire. The woman immediately sped off before the gunmen could continue their attack. People close to Cash had warned him about associating with the woman. She was an Instagram model, and they had only gone out 3 times before the incident. Many suspected that she had set him up. While Lil Durk has been implicated in several murder-for-hire plots, he is not the only rapper entangled in similar allegations. Other high-profile artists, including one of Durk's closest industry friends, King Von, have also been linked to violent crimes. One of the most infamous cases involves Young Thug. In May 2022, Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis unveiled a shocking 56-count indictment against Young Thug and 27 other alleged members of YSL. Prosecutors claim that YSL wasn't just a record label but a violent Atlanta street gang, Young Slime, Life, affiliated with the National Bloods gang. The indictment detailed a decade-long reign of terror centered around Cleveland Avenue in Atlanta. Prosecutors alleged that YSL members were involved in various crimes, including murder, assault, robbery, theft, illegal gun possession, and drug trafficking. At the heart of the indictment was the 2015 killing of Donovan Thomas Jr., also known as Big Nut, a rival gang member. Prosecutors claimed that Young Thug had rented the car used in the murder while 5 other YSL members were directly charged with the killing. As the trial unfolds, the rap world is closely watching to see whether Thug will ultimately be held responsible for Big Nut's murder. However, Young Thug isn't the only rapper linked to violent acts. Another artist rumored to have orchestrated a hit is Yoonjin Ace. Ace was once friends with both Lil Durk and Quando Rondo before tensions escalated into an all-out war. Allegedly, Ace planned and financed the murder of his biggest rival, Foolio. Foolio's mother has publicly stated that her son's death was a paid hit. Interestingly, Ace seemed to confirm this during an appearance on a YouTube show. When asked what his last major investment was, he gave an answer that strongly hinted at something sinister. As law enforcement continues cracking down on rappers tied to street violence, the industry is left questioning just how deep these connections run. While Lil Durk allegedly rewarded his gang members with money and lucrative music deals for carrying out hits, another rapper was accused of compensating his associates with extravagant dinners. That rapper is none other than New York drill artist Chef G. Chef G's gang, which had expanded its influence from Brooklyn to Manhattan and even across state lines to New Jersey, was accused of orchestrating violent crimes that left entire communities in fear. Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez revealed that Chef G used his financial success to fund and facilitate further gang activity, encouraging members to participate in acts of violence. One particularly shocking incident was a mass shooting in Brooklyn, known for its sheer audacity and brutality. Reports state that the suspects pulled up in a vehicle and unleashed a hail of bullets on members of a rival gang. The aftermath was devastating. One person was killed, and 5 others were injured as bystanders fled in terror. In a move that stunned prosecutors, Chef G allegedly rewarded the shooters with a lavish steak dinner at a high-end Manhattan restaurant. Another rapper who nearly had one of Lil Durk and King Von's close associates, Chief Keef, murdered is Tekashi 6ix6ix9ine. The tension between the two rappers was evident, with both exchanging jabs and threats through social media and diss tracks. As the rivalry escalated, Tekashi's association with fellow rapper and Inner Circle member Kuda B became increasingly significant. Kuda B, whose real name is Taquan McKenzie, was known for his unwavering loyalty to 6ix9ine and his willingness to support him in various endeavors. This relationship would soon play a key role in a shocking act of violence. In the months leading up to the attack, 6ix9ine taunted Chief Keef and his crew online. Then, in November 2018, a critical piece of evidence emerged. A video released by TMZ showing Tekashi 6ix9ine on FaceTime with Tato, Chief Keef's cousin. During the call, 6ix9ine inquired about Tato's whereabouts and whether he would be with Chief Keef during his visit to New York City. In a chilling revelation, 6ix9ine claimed to have a 30-pack, referring to a $30,000 bounty placed on Chief Keef's life. On June 2, 2018, as Chief Keef returned to the W Hotel in Times Square during the early morning hours, gunshots rang out in his direction. Miraculously, he emerged unharmed, but the brazen shooting sent shockwaves through the music industry and beyond. Authorities quickly pieced together the events leading up to that night, and the investigation soon focused on Kuda B. His involvement in the plot to target Chief Keef led to his eventual guilty plea, marking a pivotal moment in the case. As Lil Durk sits in his cell awaiting trial, the rap world is left wondering whether the numerous murder-for-hire allegations against him are based on truth or mere speculation. With law enforcement tightening its grip on gang-related activities in the hip-hop industry, many artists find themselves entangled in criminal cases that could alter their careers forever. Meanwhile, for those following these developments, similar stories continue to unfold across the rap scene.